15-minute just overview of all of Major League Baseball, all the changes that went down through the offseason, and what's going to prepare you for season 3 of this long-term sim. Starting off with our team, starting rotation, you're looking at Hunter Brown, Bailey Ober, who we got in the big trade from Minnesota. Ober has been very solid. This is now 4 years in a row of 140-plus innings, striking out a decent amount of batters, ERA around 3, differing records because the teams have been worse. Last year, he had his worst year FIP-wise and struck out the least amount of batters of his career and gave up more home runs and walked more. However, he was still great, 3.4 ERA, and I think he's going to be a great addition to our rotation. We also trade for Sandy Alcantara in the rotation. Another expiring deal guy, 2022 Cy Young Award winner. Since then, has been just okay with the Marlins, and the Marlins are a dumpster fire. I think getting him out of there, bringing him over here, he's an absolute innings eater. I think he could be a dog for us. Christian Javier and Ronel Blanco round out our rotation. Blanco was great last year. Javier was great 2 years ago. I think one of them will have another great season this year. You got Christian Scott, who's going to get in at some point. He's been a reliever. Last year, we're starting to translate him to the starting rotation. Relievers, you got Hader, but then setting up, you got Gratterall, King, Castro. We signed Carl Edwards and Pierce Johnson late in the rotation. And we also trade for closer Jose Ferrer, who makes the opening day roster. Yiner's the catcher with Higgy as the backup. First baseman is going to be Miguel Andujar. Altuve and Casey Schmidt are up. Matter of fact, I'm going to send down Christian Pache. Call up Casey Schmidt. We're really good against lefties. Yeah, we're really good against lefties, have a lot of platoon guys. Either way, you got Altuve as the DH, Paredes at third, Pena at short, Alvarez, Myers, Smith, and then you also got Trammell, who's going to play out there. We also traded for John Kenzie Noel, who's going to mash lefties for us. Big Christmas. We know about his 2024 playoff heroics. Is yet to play a full season since then, but in the last 2 years combined, he's been mid, terrible defensively, negative WAR. Especially last year, he was just bad. For the Angels, Chris Sale comes over as a one-year deal. He'll be the ace, followed by John Means, who's been great. He's on the last year of his deal. Yusei Kikuchi on the last year of his deal. At least 2 out of, if not all 3 of these guys are going to be gone at the deadline if they're doing badly. Detmers and Silseth round out the rotation. Ben Joyce is your closer. He's not great. He throws hard. That's about it. Logan O'Hoppe is back after a great 2026 campaign. 800 OPS, all-star appearance, 4-WAR player. Nolan Shanuel has turned into a star. Even though he's had some injury issues, last year looked like the MVP. Xavier Edwards is back after he came over at the deadline. He's a very solid player. Kyron Paris is coming along, the youngster at third. Neto moves back over to short. Spent some time at third base after they got somebody at the deadline. Can't remember who last year. I think it might have been Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Seth Brown and Jason Hayward in left field. Shout out to two-time Astro Jason Hayward. Hit 18 bombs for us last year. Joe Adell in center field, who's been not great. And then Mike Trout manning right field as well. For the Oakland A's, it's Gallen, Severino, Gonsolin, Estes, and Spence. And then your closer is, of course, Mason Miller, who's been elite this whole save. Bart returns as your catcher, got hurt last year. Nick Kurtz at first base. He's great. Zach Geloff at second, also great. He had a breakout year last year. 892 OPS, 5.4 WAR. All-Star the year before that, not deserving at all. But last year, very deserving. Max Schumann at third is the worst hitter in your lineup. You got Jacob Wilson, who hits for great average. 2025, he was amazing. Put up 5 WAR. Batting title. He's back. You signed Cody Bellinger Out in left field, you got Denzel Clark in center and Lawrence Butler in right. Clark is a defense-only guy, though he's getting better with the bat. For the Mariners, great rotation. Bryce Miller is still on for a while, as is Brian Wu. Castillo's a free agent at the end of the year, as is Logan Gilbert. Interesting make-or-break season for the Mariners. Cal Raleigh at catcher. You got Vlad at first base, who's locked up for a long time. Gorman, and then Duran. Yeah, this is an okay team. You signed Taylor Ward from your rivals to an awful contract. He sucks. You're gonna regret that. This is a weird team. You got a lot of good players starting, but then also a lot of bad players. Rangers paid some guys. You still got Eovaldi and DeGrom here as well. Chad Green is the closer again. You also paid Tyler Stevenson. You bring back Luis Arraez, who was solid last year. Marcus Semien at second is a guy they're going to look to move at the deadline, because these guys will probably be bad. Josh Young might be a movable piece at the deadline. Seager's here for a long time. Josh Smith, Evan Carter, and Wyatt Langford, who's been awful this series. Legitimately horrible. The Braves are World Series contenders. This 1-2 of Skubal and Strider is the best in baseball. Relieving, you've got Adrian Morejon as your closer. They were very close to trading for Johan Duran. They just, at the end of the day, they couldn't make anything work out. Still got Murphy and Baldwin splitting time back behind the plate. Alan Clark is the shortstop, the rookie. This is a very solid little team led by Acuna and Skubal. For the Marlins, not a great rotation. Pretty deep, though, still after giving up Alcantara. You got Walker at first. Vasquez is going to DH. Lux at second. Norby at third. Hampson at short. Bazana out in left. He was very bad defensively at shortstop last year. Yeah, he was dreadful. They're going to try him out in left field. Robles in center and Austin Hayes in right. For the Mets, Kadai Senga comes back as a pitcher. Edwin Diaz is one of the best closers. This is a very good Mets team. You bring back everybody pretty much, including Pete Alonso. Phillies are great, and they got better. Ryan Kirkring is your closer. But where they really got good is the hitting. You trade for Nolan Arenado, didn't give up too much. And then you still bring back Jarren Duran, who you got at the deadline. You bring in Jazz Chisholm. And then you got Brandon Marsh back. This is a good team. You add Nolan Arenado and Jazz Chisholm to an already great lineup. The Nationals are bad. These guys suck. Look at this. They're James Wood and a bunch of nobodies after that. The Cubs are great. You bring back Garrett Crochet on a record-breaking deal. Even though it was a down year last year, I'm expecting him to put up Cy Young numbers for years to come. It was a big blockbuster, crazy deal for him to go over to the Cubs at the deadline last year and join Ranger Suarez, the All-Star, and Justin Steele, the Cy Young, and Shota Imanaga, the All-Star as well. And you got Ben Brown here as well. He's something, all right. Bullpen isn't great, but it's not horrible. You bring in Jonah Heim to add to Danny Jansen, who was one of your big deadline gets last year. Michael Bush is back. You got Caden Polovich at second, CJ Abrams, Dansby Swanson. Yeah, you got some holes in this team. Not a lot of depth, but the good players are good. Reds are great. You got Hunter Green, Carson Kelly. Yeah, the Reds are really good. I forgot about this team. They are great. Great depth. Will Benson, Trent Grisham, Jake Fraley, Nick Castellanos. This is a very good team. Shane Bieber goes to the Brewers. They've got some expiring deals, but I'd say they filled in for their lost free agents pretty nicely. This team is still led by Jackson Chourio, who, again, in a short 87-game stint last year, looked like one of the best players in baseball. 5 WAR, elite defensively, 10 steals, 600 slugging, 328 average, 17 homers, 35 doubles. He looked amazing. William Contreras has also battled injuries, and when he's been healthy, looked great. For the Pirates, you got Skeens is back. Everybody else, pretty bad. Jared Jones has been okay. Skeens has been good, even though he hasn't made any All-Star games. He's a beast. Bednar at the back of the pen is going to be back. And then you got some decent pieces. You signed Nico Horner from inside the division. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is back after you traded him at the deadline. Yohan Moncada. You got Mauricio Dubon. Marcelo Zuna. A lot of mid on this team. The Cardinals are bad. You signed Jack Flaherty and Nestor Cortez. Good for you. But the bullpen sucks. And aside from your catcher, Brendan Don, like these guys have some good players, but giving away Nolan Arenado really made this team show that this team is not going to be in the playoffs this year. The Diamondbacks made some moves, but again, they're still pretty bad. Rockies are horrible. Look at this team. This team is legitimately god-awful. The Dodgers are insane. Rotation, you got Ohtani, Yamamoto, Glasnow, Sasaki. Snell is your 5. Are we serious? Bullpen's great. Scott's an amazing closer. Will Smith, Freddie Freeman. You bring back Max Muncy to be more of a depth piece behind Ha-Sung Kim. Alec Boehm you brought in. Bo Bichette's back. You also got Ha-Sung Kim. Ian Happ, Andy Pages, Mookie Betts. You got Kyle Schwarber as the DH. And then off the bench, Teoscar Hernandez and Max Muncy is insane pinch hitter duo. For the Padres, Michael King. And then you also got Jojo Romero, who was one of the best closers in baseball last year, reliever of the year for the Cardinals. He comes over, I believe, as a free agent, not as a trade. Ethan Salas, the youngster, is going to get the full-on catching duties after a solid year last year. Bogarts, Cronenworth, Manny, Eggy, Gavin, Jackson, and Fernando, and the rest of the team. This is a solid team, not great. Then you got the Giants. Still got Logan Webb. The rest of the team, though, is pretty awful. Ryan Walker's your closer. Matt Chapman, Willie Adames, Elliot Ramos. Like, you got some core pieces here. These guys just aren't amazing. The rookie Carmen Escaleta came up at 18 years old last year. I'm a huge supporter of his. I think he's going to be really good right off the gate. The Orioles got way better. You got an okay rotation, but the bullpen's amazing with Duran, Cano, and Bautista. You got Rutschman. This is a make-or-break year for the Orioles. You got Rutschman, who, if you're winning the World Series, you're looking at extending him maybe. If not, you're trading him at the deadline. You got Mayo, Lowe, Holiday is here. Again, Westberg is a guy who was great last year. Gunnar is a free agent after not this year, but next year. He just had an MVP-level season. Silver Slugger All-Star appearance. Colton Cowser has not been good. You got Chas McCormick, Dane Myers, and Heston Kjerstad joining him in the outfield. Kjerstad was amazing in about half a season's play a year ago. Red Sox are bad. They're young, very young, lots of young talent, but bad. The pitching is awful. Don't even talk about him. Carlos Narvaez, he's good. He's blossomed into a very good catcher. Ben Rice comes over as part of the Alex Bregman trade. Him and Tristan Cassius will be their first baseman. Luis Garcia was a guy who they got in the deadline of year 1. Half a year last year, got hurt, but he was good when he played. Rafael Devers, obviously always good. One of the best DHs in baseball. 41 bombs last year. Shaw is third base. He's shown some great things so far at the big league level. Christian Campbell is up. Came up after Luis Garcia got hurt. He's going to be great. Trevor Story is here. Marcelo Meyer is here. Ceddanne Rafaela. Roman Anthony is up in the majors, even though he had a rough stint to start his career. Like I said, these guys have a plethora of elite young guys, all with a potential. They have like 5. They got Matt Shaw, Christian Campbell, Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer. Like, the list goes on and on. These guys are so good and so young. It's just they're far away. And with Devers getting older and older, you got to think sometime during this contract, if they're willing to wait it out and pay it out, that we'll have a World Series caliber team in Boston. The Yankees are great. Look at this rotation. Let me make Garrett Cole good again. Sorry. Oops, forgot to do that. Because this is just insane. yeah, Garrett Cole, he was like a 98 at the end of last year, 2025 Cy Young. He's so good, 36 years old. It doesn't matter. He's still great. Shelby Miller, Jose Alvarado's your closer, Austin Wells, the catcher, Oswaldo, Glaber, Breggy's back for, I believe, one more season for Alex Bregman, making $45 million this year for New York. Volpe, Garcia, Adolis Garcia, yeah, he's still kicking it. He's been awful. Oh my God. He's been dog shit every year since that World Series just ruined him. He's going to be a starter for the Yankees. You still got Aaron Judge. Still, you bring in Dalton Varsho on a long-term deal to be an elite defensive center fielder. The Rays are an interesting team, like their rotation. Their bullpen, not great. But, they're the Rays. They'll do anything with the bullpen. 3 good catchers. Remuto was awful last year, so he's getting older. He's a backup. Alejandro Kirk is a great starter. All-star each of the last 2 seasons. Much better last year. He was a 4-win player both years because he's a great defender. Jonathan Aranda has been a just full-on superstar. I'm awaiting a big extension for him. Bruce Park is one of the top prospects in baseball. I think he likely is on the opening day roster, part of the April call-ups. Junior Caminero is also very good. Hasn't blossomed into the player that Aranda has, but he's still very, very good. Taylor Walls is here. He's defense first. That's it. Jose Caballero, he's speed. That's really it. Christopher Morel is here. We got him. James Sharp, the youngster out in center, showed a ton of promise last year. I think he's going to be a beast. He's great defensively. You got Josh Lowe coming back doing Josh Lowe things, being mid. You got the Blue Jays. These guys stink. Tyler Mahle was very good last year. Barrios was okay. You got Nick Martinez. Just a lot of starting pitching. A bad bullpen aside from Jeff Hoffman, who was bad last year. Ryan Jeffers at catcher is an interesting get. He's been injured the past 2 years. He's been awful. Ryan Mountcastle at first. Second base, you got David Schneider, Gabriel Arias, Ernie Clement at third. Andres Jimenez at short is great defensively. Not much else. Dave Rarick, the youngster, 18-year-old, got some play time at the end of last year and was okay. Great defensively, not much else. Santander's your DH. He has been nothing special, just hits for power, that's it. Then you got some other remnants of the Vladimir Guerrero trade manning the outfield with Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez. For the White Sox, you got Kurt Burt, certainly going to be in the majors soon. I hope he's going to be amazing. You got Dylan Cease, who you paid a lot for not really any reason because he's been awful. You got Casey Mize, who you paid a lot for not really any reason because he's just mid. And Caleb Ferguson's your closer. My God, this team's bad. Good catching duo with Teal and Caro. These are young stars here. Vaughn, Vargas, Toro, Mydrock, Bauer. These are all 74s. This isn't getting me excited. Unlike this Guardians roster, which gets me very excited. Peralta, big deal. And big guy. Had a great year last year. Tanner Bybee, big guy. Gavin Williams, great player. Herman Marquez was good last year. What do you know? Get him out of Coors, and he plays very solid. Then you got some other role players. Ben Lively had an incredible year. And then guys like Luis Ortiz, who are good for a spot start once in a while. Okay, and then the bullpen is just unreal. Hentges, Gaddis, Smith, Herron, Brant Herter. These guys are 6 closers deep. And then the man who runs it all, Emmanuel Clase, is an absolute dog. Berrettini is your catcher. He was unreal in 73 games last year. Absolutely unreal. Why did we not bring this guy back? He put up 4 WAR in less than half a year. He looked like the MVP. You also got Bo Naylor. He sucks. Gary Sanchez was good, but it was a very small sample. O'Hearn, you got Naylor at first. O'Hearn's the DH. India at second. Ramirez at third. Otto at short. Juan, Mullins, Conine out in the outfield. Very good team. The Tigers are okay. Jackson, this pitching staff just looks worse. The relief, the bullpen is great. Bullpen is amazing, but the starting pitching looks so much worse without Skubal. It might get exposed. Torkelson's still a good hitter. McKinstry's still been good both seasons. He's good with the bat and good defensively. Javier Baez, same thing, good with the bat, good defensively. Had a very nice year last season. Riley Green is their superstar, and then Meadows and Carpenter, they're here as well. How close are we? Very close. Okay, 2 more teams. Chris Bubich is still the ace of the Royals. Had an amazing year 1. Cy Young level year 1. Started the All-Star game. Year 2, very good. Pumping the brakes on year 1. Not a 6 WAR guy, but he struck out a lot more guys. There were some things he did well in year 2 that he carried over from year 1. FIP liked him a lot, 3.46 ERA, and he won a Gold Glove. Cole Reagans, down year last year, still solid though. And then moving over to the bullpen, you signed Devin Williams after just 1 year in Tampa, 1 year in New York. 14 and 4 years for Devin. He's still going to be a beast. I'm counting on that. Furman, a catcher, Pasquantino. Cags looked a lot better last year. I got scared after that 2025 campaign, but last year he pulled things back together. Sosa, Garcia, Witt is still your absolute beast at shortstop. Even though last year he looked human. Year 1 he looked like a god. Year 2 still put up 5.8 WAR because he's so good defensively and so good on the base paths. And he still drives in a ton of runs. But a 799 OPS looked somewhat human. Kyle Stowers in the outfield was a good get at the deadline in 2025. Last year did get injured, but he proved to be a good player. Lane Thomas, same thing. J.J. Bleday is a good guy out there. Kyle Isbell's kind of been left for dead, even though in 13 games, he looked like God. Barry Bonds out there. Laureano's still kicking it. Joey Weimer is awful exclusively against lefties. And then their final team is the Twins, who have been selling this offseason. You're probably looking at a Pablo Lopez deal and a Joe Ryan deal at the deadline. Robbie Ray, you signed on 2 years. He might go. This team's going to reload. This Griffin Jax might be on his way. This team got really unlucky with all the players that are going to be free agents at the end of the year. Cartia's your catcher. He's horrible. Luke Raley is here. You got him in a trade last offseason. Had his best year with you. Good season. Over at first base. Second base, Tommy Edman, another guy who came over in one of those deals, and he's been good. In 124 games so far this series, he's hitting about 300. He's got a 4 WAR. Good for him. Royce Lewis still can't do anything. Just not the player we thought he once would be. Ruined by injuries. Carlos Correa is still a great player. 88 overall, almost a 7 WAR last year. All-Star, Gold Glove. Good for him. Trevor Larnach is a beast. Both seasons with an OPS over 850. And a WAR over 3 despite not playing the full season. That's very good. Larnach, see, he's also expiring. He could be on his way. If these Twins could either be great and make a run, I doubt it because they just traded 2 good players, but they could still be great and make a run, or they're going to be bad and trade everybody at the deadline. Matt Wallner's here for a long time. He's been very solid. Then you also got Tyler O'Neill as part of that Johan Duran trade. He is just for this 1 season, and he might get flipped again, even though I think he's too bad. Like, he's a 76 overall, making $18 million. That's not worth the value to flip him if you're thinking about flipping everyone else on the team. So that's going to do it for this preview of the season. We will not play opening day. We'll save that for next episode. Overall, we rank pretty well positionally. I know it says we're 30th at first base. I don't think it picks up that Andujar is our first baseman. Like, we're bottom, but we're not. I think it thinks Davison De Los Santos is our first baseman. We're pretty good at all around the field, though, especially with Yordan Alvarez. You can see him second out in left field. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm going to be back later. Got to go to work. Got to do some stuff. Also, it's my birthday. Thank you to everyone for all that. But that's going to do it for this episode. See y'all later.